Hello friends, today we study industrial safety lecture number 2. So in the lecture number 1, in the previous lecture we have discussed about the introductory part of a safety. Again, how the safety management works. So you can see that video in iTab that is given on the top of the screen. Okay, now we will see the next part of the safety. The major part is that what are the types of accidents are there. Okay, generally in a chemical industry there are three types of accident that are possible, and again if you go through the newspapers we can see that there are number of headlines are given, that is a fire occurred in the such in the industries chemical plant. Okay, so there are first type of that is the type of accident is fire. Okay, so this is a fire of it is a type of accident that generally happens in the industries. Now the second type of accident is the explosions. Third type is the toxic release. Okay, now fire is nothing but the combustion of a flammable material. Okay, so it will release some energy at a certain area. It will burn for number of time. That is nothing but the fire. Now what is the explosion? Explosion will also have there is a combustion will take place of the chemical. Okay, or the flammable material present in the plant, but the difference is that in explosion there will be a shock waves created and it will propagate from one point to another point. Okay, so there will be a shock waves created in the explosion. Okay, so that shock waves will be only responsible for the maximum damage. Okay, of that plant. It will cause the generally explosion will cause maximum damage to the plant. Okay, so why? Because the pressure waves will be created and it will propagate from one point to another point. But what will happen in fire? Fire will take place only at the point. It will not propagate, only it will propagate within a certain area only. It will not propagate towards the all the surface all the area of the plant. Okay, so that is the thing. So that is the difference, major difference between the fire and explosion. Okay, now the third type of accident is the toxic release. Okay, now here it is nothing but what is the type of accident, how it can be defined. It can be defined that by the release of a toxic material. Okay, whatever the material we are handling in the plant, it may be released into the air, and that release of that toxic material will be come in contact with the personnel or the population around that plant, which may cause various types of diseases. Okay, to that personnel. Okay, nothing, that is nothing but the toxic release type of material, that is accident. Okay, now in a accident in a chemical plant all the three types of accident are possible. Okay, now we can see with respect to the fatalities, that is the death of a person, the order reverses. Okay, so toxic release will have a maximum potential as compared to the fire and explosion. Okay, then economic loss. Now economic loss is nothing but the damage to the property of that plant. So it will be more in the explosion type of accidents. Okay, now the most damaging type of explosion is unconfined, that is it can be propagated from one point to another point. So that is the major difference between fire explosion and toxic release. Both of them, all of them are dangerous in nature, but they have a different natures. So toxic release will not cause any economic losses. Okay, it will not cause damage to the property or the plant. Okay, equipments, but it will cause a death to the person, so fatalities will be very large here. Okay, then we can see fire will cause some damage to the property. Again there it will cause some fatalities also, but within certain range. Okay, it will be limited up to that area only. Now explosion will have a maximum damage properties. It may cause damage to the properties, it may cause damage to the individuals working over there. Okay, so that is the major type of accident that may happen in industries. Now we can see here the graphical way or the pie chart is showing that The types of losses. Okay, type of loss for large hydrocarbon chemical plant accidents. Okay, now we can see here the pie chart says that 30% of the damages were there due to the explosion. Okay, then there is new type of explosion is also there, the vapor cloud explosions, that is 36% is damage due to the, that is a loss were due to the vapor cloud explosions. Okay, now the 31% only there were lost due to the fires. Okay, so these are the that is statistics that is given by how the three types of explosion will cause the damages. Okay, now we see the next slide. Here the graphical representation is given where we can see that the causes of losses in the large hydrocarbon chemical plant accidents. Okay, what are the reasons? Okay, now we can see that an accident may happen, it may be fire, it may be the explosion, it may be toxic release, but how they can happen, what are the causes? Now we can see here maximum causes are due to mechanical failure. Okay, so there is some mechanical failure of a equipment, so that may cause all the three types of, so maximum number of accident that happen in industries is due to mechanical failure. Then second number is that it is showing that it is due to the operational operator failures. Okay, that is a human error that may also cause, so maximum causes of accident due to, there it will be mechanical failure, second one is the operator errors. Okay, third one is unknown. Then the process upset is there, one of the reason for the accident to happen. Then there is also very interesting one is the natural hazards. Okay, it may be earthquakes, it may be heavy rainfall, it may be heavy heat, increase in the temperature, this will be the causes for natural hazard. Then there is a design errors is also responsible for the most of the accident to happen. Then there is a sabotage. Okay, so all these are the reasons for, all these are the reasons for the accident to happen. Okay, so that is the thing. So these are the various causes of accident. Okay, now you see go for the next that is a data, it is a graph that is showing a hardware associated with the great largest losses. Okay, so what are the hardware, what are the reasons for the mechanical failure? Okay, so we can see here maximum accidents will have happened in the history of a chemical industry is due to the failure of a piping system. Okay, so major reason is piping system failure. Then second one is the miscellaneous unknown is there. Then the failure of the design errors or the failure in the storage tank. Okay, these are the major reasons where due to which the number of accidents that happened in the industries. Then there is a reactor piping system, process holding tanks, heat exchangers, valves, all these are the responsible, so these are the uh, hardwares that can be that is the reason for the mechanical failure. Okay, so for studying in detail we can go through these reasons. Okay, for the, okay, now we will go for the next type or a very important type or a very important topic for studying accident is the uh, we can study it is a nature of accident. Okay, how, what is the nature of accident process? Okay, so generally all of you this audience, we have seen that there is a polymerization reactions that are involved. Okay, so so same process is there as that of in the accident process also. It is the nature of accident. Okay, so most of the accident follows the three, you can see the three steps sequence. Okay, then is the initiation, then the propagation, and the last one is the termination. Okay, same there as that of the polymerization reaction. Here what happens here, the initiation of a accident, that is the starting of a accident, then the propagation, that is mean the whatever the flames are there due to the fire and explosion, they will propagate from one point to another point, then that there will be the termination. That means what will happen, whatever the inflammable flammable materials are there, so it has been consumed and it has been combusted, and what happened, the fire had been stopped. Okay, so these are the generally accidents are taking place in the industries. So the first step in the accident process is the initiation, second is the propagation, and the third one is the termination. Okay, so that is the three steps generally the accident follows. Okay, now one of the example is given here, we can see, or number of example we can see. The example here is that worker trip to the initiated the accident. Okay, worker trip to the initiate the accident. The accident was propagated by shearing the wall and resulting explosion and growing fire. The event was terminated by consumption of the all the flammable material. Okay, so we can take various examples also. That is a there is a storage tank of certain volume capacity is there. It is containing a flammable material, and due to some mechanical failure, there was a leakage in that flammable storage tank. So whatever the vapors is there, what that was present in the storage tank, it has been released into the air. So they have formed the ignible mixture, and due to some reason, so that is the initiation, and due to some reason, it has been the due to some sparking, and due to the energy level, the whatever the vapors were there into the air, it catched fire. If fire got, they catch fire, and there was an explosion. Okay, so that is the uh, initiation, and whatever the flame was created due to that explosion, but was propagated, okay, from storage tank to another unit. So that is the propagation. And termination, that means whatever the capacity, whatever the volume was of the flammable material was there into the storage tank, it was been combusted and consumed, it has been consumed. Okay, so what will happen after that, it will, the fire will stop. So that is the termination step. So all of the accident, that is fire, explosion, and toxic release, they will follow these three steps, and it is called as a nature of accident. Now we can see here what as a safety engineer what we can do. So safety engineering, what happens here? So safety engineering involves eliminating the initiation of a step. Okay. So पहला step हमको first step only we have to remove. Okay. So first step we have to remove, that is initiation is to be removed. So that is the work of a safety engineer. Okay. But in theory, accident cannot be stopped by eliminating the first initiation step. Okay, so what we can do, it is not possible to stop the initiation step, but we can do one thing, that is it is much more effective approach is to that whatever the initiation has been started, it also the second step of propagation can be replaced by the third step, that is the termination step. So what we can do as a safety engineer, as a uh, that is a safety engineer, what we can do, we cannot stop the initiation, but we can do one thing, that is the propagation we can stop, and we can replace that propagation step with the termination step. So that is the actual work of a safety engineer into the plant. Now we can see here what we can do for the three steps. Okay, that is defeating the accident process. So from this diagram we can see here. So initiation, it can be your first step. Desired effect is we can remove it. Okay, so we can stop the initiation process. Okay, so for that what we can do, we can go for grounding and bonding of our equipment. Inerting कर सकते हैं, yeah, we can do inerting. Then we can do we can use the explosion proof electricals. Then we can use the guards. We can have a maintenance regularly. We can work. Okay, Then there is a human factor design. We can check it for number of times. We can check the process design, and we can also do the awareness of a dangerous properties of a chemicals. So we can do this thing so that we can avoid the first step itself, that is initiation. Okay, but if initiation started, what we can go for the second step, propagation. So इसको भी हम for this also we have to remove it. So what we can do here, procedures, you can use emergency material transfer so that propagation will stop. We can reduce the inventories, that is number of flammable material present should be minimized. Then equipment spacing and proper layout should be there. So non-flammable construction material should be there. Installation of check and emergency shut-up wall should be there. So the all this step will either stop the propagating of a accident. Now the third step, okay. So what we have to do, we have to increase it. So termination should be increased. So what we can do in that termination step, so we can have a firefighting equipment and procedure, a relief system, sprinkler system, installation of a check and emergency shut off walls. Okay, so these are the only thing, only the procedures we can see. So these are nothing but the procedure for the safety uh, management. Okay, so we can do all these things so that there is will be no accident can take place into the plant, or if this accident took place into the plant, we can go for this so that we can replace the second step with the third step. Okay, so that is the major thing. Now we will study now is the inherent safety techniques. Okay, what we can do. Okay, now the type is of the, there is various types of inherent safety technique, that is minimize. Okay, now here what we can do is the change from the large reactor. So what we can do is intensifications, or what we can see here, intensification. Here we see that in generally all of the chemical plants, the plants are working at high temperature and pressures. Again we are handling a very dangerous chemicals into the plant, again at the various high temperature parameters, dangerous parameters. So for that there is a chances of hazards are maximum. Okay, there is the chances of accident could to take place is maximum at that point, so that it is called as a intensification. Okay, so for that intensification, what we have to do, we have to reduce it. So for that there are a number of techniques are there. Okay, so first thing is that we have to minimize the inventory into that. Okay, so that there should be no uh, there is hazard points will be remain into that plant. Okay, the first point is that for minimize the intensification, so we can go for either smaller continuous reactor instead of a batch reactors. Reduce the inventory, that is a max, that is a very important point. Okay, again we have to improve the control to reduce the inventory, reduce the process hold up. So these are the technique where we can reduce the intensification of a process. Okay, now we can see the second step for inherent safety is to substitution. Okay, so we can use mechanical pump seals, then we can use a welded pipe, we can use a solvent, we can use a mechanical gauzes. So all these uh, things we can use as compared to the, that is a equipment that has been used. Now we can see mechanical pump, we can mechanical pump seals can be used as compared to the packing, welded pipe as compared to the flanged, solvent that are less toxic we can use into the plant, then mechanical gauges as compared to the mercury, then use of high the chemicals with higher flush point can be used into the plant, use of water as a heat transfer fluid instead of a hot oil. Okay, so these are the substitute method where we can reduce the hazard point into the plant. Again the next point for inherent safety is the moderate. Okay, attenuation we can do here. So we can use a vacuum to reduce the boiling point. That is a major thing generally the industries are using. Again reduce the process temperature and pressure, refrigerate the storage vessel, okay, dissolve the hazardous material into the solvent, operate at the condition where reactor runaway is not possible, separate pumps room, barricade control room. So these are the technique we can use so that the hazard point can be reduced into the plant. That is called as attenuation. Now the simplify. So whatever the thing we can do, we can be simplify. Okay. So we can see that keep the piping system neat and visually easy to follow. Design control panels that are easy to complement. Design a plant for easy safe maintenance. Pick a equipment that requires less maintenance. So these are the things we can do. The little bit things we can do for removing the hazard points into the plant. Okay. Now we can see add the fire and explosion resistant barricades into the plant. Separate system controls into blocks that are easy to complement. Label the pipe as for easy work line. Okay, these are the technique we can which will avoid the hazardous point into the plant. Now there is a four significant disasters or that is the incident that happened in history of a chemical plant. It is a so we can see the four most cited accident that happened in the industry is the Flixborough incident that is present in England. Then one of the most talked about incident was Bhopal, then Seveso, Italy, then Pasadena in Texas. All these accidents that happened that has a significant impact on the public perception and the chemical engineering profession that added a new emphasis and the standards in the practice of safety. So whatever the these four incident was there, they have changed the perception of a chemical industries. Okay, so they were a major accident that happened in the history of a chemical plant and the damages was very large. Okay, that's why these four accidents has been always been talked about. Okay, now we will see the first type of accident, that is the Flixborough accident, and we see that there is a case study on that. So we can see the case study on the Flixborough, that is a Flixborough incident. Okay, so we can see here from this the accident is at Flixborough, England, occurred on uh, June 1974. It had a major impact. Okay, as a result of accident, safety achieved much higher priority in that country. Okay, then Flixborough was it works of a Nipro Limited. Okay, what design. Okay, so they were producing 70,000 tons per year of a caprolactam. It is a basic raw material for nylon. Okay, so that company was producing caprolactam and that is a raw material for nylon. Okay, now what they are using, there was the process uses a cyclohexane which was has a property similar to the gasoline. Again, under the process condition in Flixborough, there was a 155 degrees Celsius and 7.9 atmosphere pressure was used. Okay, the cyclohexane volatilizes immediately when depressurized and atmospheric to a atmospheric condition. So this was the pressures and the temperatures was given by the engineers to that plant so that the most dangerous metal compound is cyclohexane can be controlled. Okay, so that it was the process. So there was a Nipro Limited company was there. They were producing a caprolactam and that is the raw material for nylon. They were using the process was using cyclohexane and that cyclohexane has a similar property for the gasoline, and that plant was handling whole plant was operating at that's under the process parameter, that is 155 degrees Celsius and 7.9 atmosphere. Okay, so this was the temperature which from which we can handle the or we can control the work control the cyclohexane. Now what happened at that point, we will see how the initiation started. So the process were the accident occurred consists of a 6 reactor in series. Okay, so we can see here this was a 6 reactor in series, and due to some reasons, one of the personnel saw that the fifth reactor having some small crack was present in that. Okay, so that was the initiation started. So what happens here in this reactor, cyclohexane was oxidized to cyclohexanon. So in that 6 reactor, cyclohexane was oxidized to cyclohexanon, and that to cyclohexanol using injected air in the presence of a catalyst. So that was the 6 reactor where cyclohexane was converted, or it can be oxidized to cyclohexanol in a series of reactor, and they were using a catalyst also. Okay, now we can see here the liquid reaction mass was gravity fed. Okay, so all the reactor was gravity fed. Okay, each reactor normally obtained contained 20 tons of cyclohexane. So each capacity of that reactor was 20 tons, so that it can handle 20 tons of cyclohexane. Now after certain months, what happened, accident occurred. So reactor 5 in the series was found to be leaking. Okay, so what they have seen that there was a fifth reaction was there was some small crack and it was leaking. Now we can see here. So inspection showed that vertical crack was there. Okay, so what they have taken some decisions. So personnel around that they have taken some decision. So what they have done that, so they have come to decision that we can remove the fifth pair or fifth reactor from that series. Okay, again what additional decision was made, they have made the decision that fourth reactor from that series was connected directly to the sixth reactor. Okay, so what they have seen that there was a crack in the fifth reactor, so they have removed that reactor. So first decision was to remove the reactor, but the process was continuous one, we cannot stop the reactor. So what they have done, they have taken an additional decision that fourth reactor can be connected to the sixth reactor directly, so that there will be no process will be continued. Okay, so that was the two decision was made. Now the loss of reactor, okay, that is so that, so fifth reactor was removed and fourth reactor was directly connected to the sixth reactor. Okay, so what they have, how they have connected, they have connected the feed. Okay, the feed pipe connecting reactors were 28 inches in diameter. Okay, so generally whatever the connection pipe connection was there, they are generally 28 inches pipe were used. But at that point of, at that point only 20 inches pipe was there available. Okay, so what they have done, the connection to 4 to 6 reactor were made using a flexible below type of piping. Okay, so instead of using 28 inches diameter pipe, they have used 20 inches pipe, which is a flexible pipes made up of billows. Okay, so this was the decision they have used, they have made on that point. Now what happens here after the decision, the reaction was operating at high temperature and pressure, and due to overflexing of that pipe, the all the whatever the cyclohexane was present in that reactor was released into the air. Okay, so that is the thing. So what happened in that point, that upon rupture of a bypass pipe, estimated 30 ton of cyclohexane volatilized and formed a large vapor cloud. Okay, so whatever the present due to the overflexing of that pipe. Okay, so there was a leakage into that reactor, and whatever the 30 ton of cyclohexane was there, it was released into the air. Okay, and it forms a vapor cloud. Now that cloud was ignited by certain unknown reasons. Okay, within 45 seconds only. So what happened, due to see this resulting an explosion. Okay, so there was a large explosion in that area, and due to that, so we have seen that due to that explosion, the explosion leveled the entire plant facility. So it has been propagated to the whole plant. Okay, again including the administrative offices also. So the explosion propagated throughout the plant and the administrative offices also. So we can see here 28 people died, 36 people were injured, 18 of these fatalities occurred into the main control room when the ceiling collapsed. Loss of life would have been substantially greater had the accident occurred on a weekdays. Okay, so that is the damages that that accident gave. Okay, now damage extended to 1821 nearby houses and 167 shops and factories. 53 civilians reported injured. So this was the very most dangerous accident that happened in the history of a chemical plant. Okay, so what happens here, due to the propagation, major explosion took place and it propagated throughout the plant as well as the local area near the plant. It has also resulted, it has also damage to that. Okay, so what happens here, the resulting fire, whatever the fire was there, it was burned over 10 days. Okay, 10-day period there was the fire into that plant. Okay, that was the case study of a Flixborough. Okay, now we can see the accident have been prevented. So that accident can have been prevented, so that proper safety procedure. So first safety procedure they should have done is the bypass line was installed without a safety review or adequate supervision. Okay, that was a wrong decision was were made at that point. Okay, then the bypass was sketched on the floor of the machine shop using a chalk. The plant site contained excessively large inventories. Okay, so whatever the decision they have made, that was a wrong decision to use to connect the 4 to 6 wire with the reactor with the 20 inches pipe. So whatever the replacement should be there, it should be as per the standard. That is the rule. Okay, then there was a large number of inventories into the plant itself. So the plant itself has a number of large capacity of cyclohexanes. There was a naphtha, you can see 33 330,000 gallons of cyclohexane was present. Then 66,000 gallons of naphtha was present. 11,000 of gallons of toluene was present. 26,400 gallons of benzene was present at that point, and 450 gallons of gasoline was present. So this was the storage inventories was present. So what will happen? It will, it will also propagate. So the accident will not stop. It will propagate only. That's why. So we should keep the inventories, explosive inventories low. Okay, that was the second step. That was wrong. Then these inventories contributed to the fire. Okay, so all these inventories contributed to fire after the blast. Finally the bypass modification was substandard in the design. Okay, so that was this thing we can these things we can the personals have followed, so that the accident should have been stopped. So that is the thing. Okay, so these are the case studies. So we have seen here the three thing: the initiation of the process accident, then the propagation and the termination. So termination was after 10 days. So after 10 days the fire stopped. Okay, so what as a safety engineer we can do, we can skip the propagation step with the last step, that is a termination step. Okay, but how we can do it? By proper design, we can minimize the inventory of flammable material into the plant. So these are the various techniques so that the safety engineer can follow. Okay, now the reference material. So I have referred chemical process safety fundamentals with application, that is by Daniel Kroll and Joseph Flower. Okay, so that is the reference point. Okay, so stop, I will stop here, and okay, bye.